back from the dead.
Ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
Now we're back from the dead.
Okay, so let's talk about the Dibbuk Box, okay? So I just want to talk about the basic history of this box. I want to just chat about an experience that I actually had with the Dibbuk Box. My mom, when I was like in high school and middle school, she's an interior designer, but she would also do like estate sales, because that's kind of interior decoration. Like she would reorganize and get rid of things or redo things in the design or whatever. And or if one of the family members would pass on, they would have her go in and remove items to put in their house for interior design, so whatever. So my mom had this client, and it was a gentleman that had served in World War II, and him and his wife both had passed away. Finally, he passed last, and the family asked my mother to go in and basically do a full clear estate sale on every single item in the house. And it ended up being a lot of work because he collected a lot of things. So my mom ended up hiring a bunch of people to come in and help her. Some were her friends, and some were just like regular associates that she worked with on her team. I actually would go in sometimes and help when I was a teenager, just to get like extra money and stuff. Long story short, it was a 2-level home. The upstairs was very like feminine oriented. His wife had all these teacups and, girly things that they collected that were worth a lot of money because they were antiques. And then downstairs were all of his collections, and he collected like Budweiser stuff and Coors stuff and hats and just everything you could think of. So one day when I was there, they hadn't quite gotten to the basement to reorganize it. And I was messing around. I think I was like 15 or 16, and I had one of my friends with me, and she had said, go downstairs and let me know, like write down, the main categories of what this man collected. So Bud Light stuff, Coors Light stuff, he had like little miniature race cars. He had license plates he'd collect, all that stuff. She wanted just categories. So we were downstairs, and then once we were finished, we were kind of goofing off. And I had like leaned on this doorway and realized that it was like an actual like hidden door. It was like a secret door. And so I pushed the door open, and it opened up to a whole nother room. And of course, like a responsible kid, in that situation should have gone and told their parent, hey, guess what I found or whatever. Instead, I just sat there and decided that I wanted to go in and look for myself. So he had, it was a secret room. I mean, obviously it wasn't a total secret, just his family probably didn't know a lot about it. He had collected a lot of World War stuff. I can't remember if he was in the Marines or in the Army, but it was one of those two. And a lot of memorabilia, so like camo and all that stuff. And back in the corner, there was this kind of like stone wall, and the stones were like, a couple of the stones had been somehow, glued together, cemented together to make like a doorway. And when I found it, of course, like the first thing is to open this little stone door, and opened up this stone doorway, and inside was this like wooden box thing. And I mean, at the time I didn't know it was a Dibbuk box, obviously. But I was like so intrigued by it. I can't tell you. It had like the double doors that you pulled open, and there was something about it that I was so drawn to. Now remember, 15, 16, I was definitely ghost hunting, but I was definitely not doing it the right way by going into graveyards past when they were open and stuff like that. So there was something about this box that I loved. I don't know what it was. So I went up and told my mom, oh my gosh, we found this secret room or whatever. Well, she had this friend of hers named Kathy that was working with her, And Kathy came downstairs with us. Kathy was also a minister. We come downstairs, my mom's like, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed. It's a whole nother room full of stuff. You know, it's a lot to get rid of. And I said, oh my gosh, I found something that I want, and I want to work for it. I do not want to, I don't want to get paid. I just want to work for this. And so I take them over to show them whatever this is, and Kathy freaks out. Kathy freaks out, and she's like, nobody touch it. We need to get a priest in here so that we know what to do with it properly and all this stuff. Well, they had originally thought that it might be like an exorcist box or something like that. And why it had been in this like stone wall and like protected was really super strange. So I'm like upset because I don't really get what the point is. I don't know why they're freaking out about it. All I know is it's this little pretty wooden box, and I think it's cool, and I want it, and that's all there is to it. My mom's like, don't touch it. I don't know what's going on. I need to talk to Kathy, blah, 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 whatever. Time goes by or whatever, and they're doing the sale and stuff. And Kathy brings in, she's a nun friend of hers. And so the nun actually, I was in the room, picks up the box. I wasn't even allowed to touch it. And the nun picks up the box, and they take it upstairs, and they open it up. And basically, it's the same thing of what contains inside of a Dibbuk box, except this one also had holy water inside of it. So the nun says, she took some pictures of it, and she goes, I want to take this back to the priest or bishop, whoever it was that worked with her, and I'm going to get back in contact with you and decide what we should do with this. So in the meantime, I don't know what has come over me. I don't think it was like possession per se. I don't even think it was really oppression. I think maybe it was like the first stage of like infestation, because I was kind of obsessed with the box. So like obviously I'm in school Monday through Friday, and like every single day I'm asking my mom like, what's going on with the box? Where's the box? Can I have the box? Have you decided to sell the box? Like I'm just kind of obsessing over it. My mom's like, no you can't, no you can't, no you can't. So finally the nun comes back with the bishop or whatever, and they say, they explained to my mom what it was. And they were like, they had to make like a special pickup for it. Like they had to make sure that it was, I don't know. It was really weird. That's all I have to say. They weren't just going to take the box and put it in the car and drive. Like it had to be transported a certain way. It was really strange. So they were going to come back the next day and transport the box. So now in the meantime, I had been there witnessing all of that, and I don't know what it was, but it broke my heart because there was something about this box that I wanted the box. And like, I was so mad at my mom. Because I wasn't a spoiled brat or anything like that, but there was something that like, I mean, obviously it's very unhealthy looking back as an adult. Thank God I didn't get it. But there was something that was like compelling me to want to take it, to want to keep it. And so we went home that night, and my mom's like, thank God, the bishop or whatever is coming to get it, and it can be out of that house, and whatever they do with it, it'll be, in the proper place it should be. It was a Catholic bishop or whatever it was. It was related to Catholicism. And I lost it. We were at home, and I start crying. I'm like devastated. It was like someone took my pet dog away from me. I was just so devastated. I didn't understand why I couldn't have it. I didn't understand what the big deal was. Nobody had really explained to me what it was, but obviously like there was something about the box that was like making me very emotional and unstable about it. I thought maybe, I guess if I cried enough that she would be like, okay, you can have the box. Did not get the box. The next day the bishop came, and there was like almost like this weird ceremony, like this like religious prayer ceremony they did before they took the box. And we never saw it after that. But my mom, I'm an empath, and I definitely know that sensitivity runs in my family. And my mom told me, like, we had a chat after Deadly Possessions was on, and she was like, I just knew there was something evil about that box. And she goes, that's why I wouldn't even let you touch it. And then she explained to me that it was the same thing as a Dibbuk box that like Zach had on TV. And I honestly forgot the story until she reminded me when we talked about it the other night. But I was like, thank you, Mom, for not letting me keep that box. But I wanted to share it with you guys because, I mean, obviously I was a young kid at that time anyways, but think about how powerful whatever was a part of that box was to make me that emotional and obsessive about it. In fact, I remember going to school and like telling all my friends about this box, and they were like, why would you, like, it's probably old, why would you even want something like that, you know? And it was almost like no one understood like why I wanted it. And first, I want to chat about this actual Dibbuk box, because when I saw the two men that were on Zach's episode, I immediately remembered seeing them before in relation to this exact same story, except there was part of the story missing. So I wanted to make sure that before I shared this with you guys, I knew what I was talking about. So I kind of did my history. Okay, so this particular Dibbuk box is explained the way it looks because they didn't really show close-ups of it and stuff. I don't know if the camera techs were afraid to get by it, but it's like a wine cabinet box. It's claimed that it's like haunted and that it contains some sort of a restless or malicious spirit. So I'm not sure if demon is quite the word for it, but it's some sort of angry spirit. They actually, in the religion of like Judaism or being Jewish and where the box was originally from, which is Poland, they don't consider it a haunted box. They actually consider it a cursed box. The box came from a World War II survivor that got the box while he was, during the Holocaust, and the box originated from Poland. Inside of the box contains 2 pennies from the 1920s. I'm not sure if that's American or what. There is a blonde lock of hair that's bound by a cord. I don't know why. There is a lock of black and brown hair that's bound by a cord. There's also a statue inside. I don't know what the statue is. No one really knows what the statue is, but it's engraved with the words Shalom. Or just Shalom. It's Shalom. I may have pronounced that wrong. But in Hebrew, that word actually means peace. I tried to get some legitimate pictures of it, but it's kind of speculation on what's real and what's not. And I didn't want to like present something to you guys that wasn't legitimate. There's also inside a small gold wine goblet. There's 1 dried rosebud. I'm not sure what color it is. There's a single candle holder that has 4 legs on the candle holder, and they're described as like octopus-like. Okay, so how did this box become famous? So originally, the one guy bought it. He gave it to his mother, and then his mom had the stroke, and he ended up putting it on eBay for $280. Kevin Manis was the gentleman that was downstairs that you saw on TV. There was a woman that Kevin traced the box back to, and I don't know if I can pronounce this right. It's spelled Havela. Havela was a Jew from Poland, and supposedly that was her box, and she's who cursed it. When Kevin wrote this description on eBay, he said that every owner reported the smell of either cat urine or jasmine flowers, which is like a really big difference in sense. Every owner of the box has had nightmares, and some of the nightmares contain an old woman in relation to the box. After Kevin decided to sell it on eBay, a guy named, I'm gonna totally butcher this name, Losif Netsky. It's spelled Losif Netsky, Neitzke. He was a student from Truman State University, which is, I think, Kirksville, Missouri. He purchased the box, okay? After he purchased the box, he claims that the box would cause like lights to explode and go out in his house, and all of his hair fell out. I think that he was just kind of being like a silly kid, like finding something cool on eBay, and he bought it. So anyway, after he got the box, he decided he lost his hair, he's gonna sell it and get rid of it. So he did the same thing. He put it on eBay, and that is how this guy named Jason Haxton found the box. And that was the gentleman that currently owns it today, that puts it inside of like this military grade box and buries it in the ground. Jason claims that since he's owned the box, it causes him to cough up blood, it's caused him to have hives all over his body, and he's also had welts from head to toe. Jason said that he took the box to a rabbi or to multiple rabbis, and they supposedly sealed it with some sort of ritual, prayer, I'm not sure. So according to the rabbis, through Jason. No one can actually die from the box now, but they still experience like Jason, the coughing up blood and all this stuff. So no one can die from it due to the rabbis. I mean, who knows? We don't know that at this point.
We're back from the dead. Back from the dead. Back from the dead.